Welcome back to day 5 on our 30-day journey into XRP. So, if you have been finding yourself stumbling into any conversations lately about crypto or XRP, because I feel like it's just becoming more and more mainstream as these conversations are coming across news desk on like Fox Business, Reuters, Bloomberg, the Wall Street Journal, so forth and so forth. So I'm sure there's little buzzwords that are kind of catching your ear by now. But in the meantime, I'm sure you've probably heard or you've heard me say some of the following names like Ripple, XRP, XRP Ledger, and now this new thing called RLUSD, which is the Ripple stablecoin. And honestly, most people don't know how any of these work together. To be honest, I didn't know how any of these work together completely. So today, we're gonna break it down in plain English and make it as simple as possible. First up, Ripple, the company, was founded in 2012, and originally it was called OpenCoin, and then that name shifted over to Ripple Labs. One of the first angel investors for the company of Ripple in 2012 was Google Ventures. I find it fascinating that such a innovative and leading tech company saw something so special within Ripple from its beginning days. Ripple is a private company based out of San Francisco. Ripple builds infrastructure for cross border payments using blockchain technology. The mission is not to replace banks, but to make them faster and more efficient. This mission was so succinct that it led to the separating of the original team, where a battle between a deeper desire for true decentralization and building a new financial system versus the idea of working with banks and regulators to build an enterprise grade financial system or infrastructure, which, in my opinion, appears to continue to be the goal, mission, standard of Ripple, and that is to not replace banks, but to make them faster and more efficient. Next, Ripple has developed RippleNet, on-demand liquidity or ODL, and now RLUSD. To really understand how this ecosystem works, you need to know the difference between RippleNet, on-demand liquidity, and RLUSD, and how each of them play a role. So to begin with, we'll start with RippleNet. What is it? A global network of banks and financial institutions built by Ripple, or that work with Ripple within the RippleNet. Already there are major global banks a part of RippleNet, like Santander, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, India's Kotak Bank, and SBI Holdings in Japan. And even American Express has been working with RippleNet. Then add in payment giants like MoneyGram, Azimo, and FlashFX. Then finally, on the government side, Thailand, Bhutan, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, they're all testing RippleNet products. And on top of all of this, over 100 institutions across 55 countries are using RippleNet today. This is already a huge network of banks and institutions. And this is still after many years of a hostile government relation with the last administration in the United States. This hostile relationship led to many companies in America being unwilling to step in the spotlight and confirm or even begin talks to work with Ripple. That administration has been replaced, and the tides are now quickly shifting on what is allowed and what the regulations will be. At the current moment, a huge stablecoin regulatory bill called the Genius Act is sitting in the House in Washington and waiting to be voted on. And even in Europe, more and more bills are being pushed forward, and these are done so to provide more clarity and regulatory authorization. With more clarity, what other businesses, banks, or companies will be willing to join something like RippleNet? This is a big question that I have. This network, RippleNet, is a private payment messaging system, something we have never seen before within banking. Today, banks communicate in hubs whose networks are sometimes unable to communicate with each other, slowing down transfer times and adding to fees and delaying exchange rates or exchange finality processes. RippleNet will help banks communicate efficiently, verify transactions, and settle payments more efficiently. On-demand liquidity, or ODL. What is it? A feature within RippleNet that uses XRP to move money instantly between countries. Think of it like teleporting money using XRP as a vehicle. Meaning, you go to an exchange, you buy XRP with USDC or another stablecoin, and within seconds, you can send this money to anywhere in the world, and that can be converted into any currency the sender or the receiver uses instantaneously. What are the use cases of this? It removes the need for banks to hold pre-funded accounts in other countries, which I didn't even know was a thing because I don't work in banking. But to learn this, currently with our present system, banks must send a fund before they actually send the money that you want to send. This is called a pre-funded account. This must cover the cost of the money that is being sent in order to process with the receiving bank. This process takes time, it costs fees, you can miss exchange rates as if there's any clunks in the system. A thought exchange rate that would be received might be missed, and then you're stuck with another one, which could delay or cancel the transaction completely. So with this current system, you now have trillions, if not quadrillions of dollars that are sitting around the world waiting to be cashed out, waiting to be verified, waiting to be funded from other accounts. So this system of on-demand liquidity would unlock trillions or quadrillions of dollars globally, which could then free up money to do so many other things. Next, we have RLUSD, which is Ripple's stablecoin. And what is this stablecoin? It's a 1-to-1 US dollar backed stablecoin being built by Ripple. Think of it like a digital dollar. It's regulated, stable, and blockchain based. And what are the use cases of this stablecoin? It allows Ripple to serve customers who want price stability instead of XRP's volatility, allowing people to take advantage of the speed and efficiency of XRP without the volatility of its price. And how do these all work together? So RippleNet connects all the banks. ODL lets them send value instantaneously using XRP as a bridge currency. RLUSD gives institutions a stable, regulated option when they don't want to use XRP but still want the speed. And another thing RLUSD does is it builds in liquidity or liquid money into the system of XRP, allowing for the money to move more liquidly and more quickly. So, XRP, the asset, what is this? It's a digital token that lives natively on the XRPL or the XRP ledger. XRP is used as a bridge currency. It makes instant transfers between two different currencies possible instantaneously. Ripple or XRP is not controlled by Ripple, even though Ripple holds a large supply. When Ripple was created, 20% was given to the creators of XRP and 80% was given to Ripple. They have unlocked some of this over time and they have also sold some of this, but they still hold a majority of the token. Next, XRP can be traded on exchanges, used in ODL flows, and being integrated into institutional products. We'll get more into these institutional products or the additions or upgrades that XRP is having later on as we go through this podcast. So, XRP Ledger. What is it? What's the difference? XRP Ledger is a decentralized public blockchain, meaning anyone can have access to it and anyone can build on top of it. It operates independently of Ripple, the company. It's fast, 3 to 5 seconds finality. It's inexpensive, with less than 1 penny to send money. It's energy efficient, meaning there's no mining cost energetically. And anyone can build on top of it, as I said. Example, as we talked about a couple days ago, Colombia's land title system can build application on top of the XRPL system. The XRPL also includes a FX ticker or foreign exchange ticker, which for everyday people, this isn't a big deal. I mean, why would I care? I wouldn't even know before this. But this FX ticker allows customers or custodians the ability to confirm rates in real time and lock them in as they send payments instantaneously. This creates a lot less confusion, a lot less clunky movement of money, and you know what you're sending, you know what you're receiving in real time. So Ripple built tools that use the XRP ledger, but they didn't build the ledger itself. Meaning, the ledger was already created before Ripple was Ripple, the business was actually created. And the XRPL is the infrastructure that Ripple plugs into to run the tech on top of. Now we'll talk a little bit more about RLUSD, or Ripple stablecoin. It was announced in 2024 to be launched on the XRPL ledger and on Ethereum. It's 1-to-1 US dollar backed stablecoin. It's fully collateralized and audited reserves. It's meant to work alongside alongside XRP and not replace it. And it will offer stability in payment corridors, remittances, and on-chain finance. An example of this would be Bank A sends USD to Bank B, and Bank B receives euros. XRP bridges them. But for some situations, stablecoins offer less volatility than bridging with XRP. RLUSD gives you options, meaning you can use different types of currencies on top of this integrated system. And how will these all work together? This is what I'm so curious about. We've seen before with other tokens, Bitcoin, even Ethereum a bit, where what we see in the price chart, what we see in the hype is speculative completely. We haven't seen tech actually driven behind this. We haven't seen use cases where money is moving in a quick and efficient way, where there's a new system being introduced. So how will this change the world? What will it look like? What new systems and applications will be built from this new system that is being created? And what will happen once there's full regulatory clarity with products like this? So, I know none of this is sexy at all, but for me, understanding how Ripple, XRP, and the XRPL actually work together is where the things start to make sense to me. It's where the ideas start to bubble up of what is actually possible in the future and what kind of differences will be created in the world. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. And please like, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know you're here, see if you have any questions. Let's go on this journey together. And thank you so much for being here again. And until the next time, see you later.